Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see about a complete end-to-end real-time data engineering project. So this data engineering project is completely done using Azure technologies. So I can pretty much guarantee that after watching this complete end-to-end data project video, you'll be having a clear understanding about how to use different Azure resources to build a data engineering project. So this engineer is going to be a complete demo of different resources. So the use case that is going to be covered in this video is one of the very popular use case, and most of the companies uses this use case to build the data engineering project. I'm pretty much sure that it is going to be really useful, and you can also include this project in your resume, and it will be really helpful for you guys to clear any kind of Azure data engineering interviews. So without wasting further time, let's get started. So I would like to start this by introducing the different tools that is going to be used in this project. So let's see what are those. So we'll be using Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Databricks, Azure Data Lake, Azure Active Directory, Azure Key Vault, and finally Power BI. So as you can see here, there are a lot of different resources. So these are the most commonly used resources by any data engineers to build any kind of data engineering projects. Cool. So now let's see how we can use these tools to build this data engineering project with an example of an architecture of the project. Let's check it out. So as I mentioned before, the use case that we are going to do in this project is pretty common use case. So what I mean by this common use case is, if I introduce the data source, then you'll be getting a clear idea about what I'm talking about. So the data source that we are going to use in this particular use case is on-premise SQL Server database. So we all know that one of the main reasons for different companies to move to cloud is to migrate their on-premise traditional database to cloud. So this is one of the most common use case, right? So I thought, like, let's take the same use case for this project. So it will be really useful for you to actually understand this whole process. So inside the database, we're having like 6 or 7 tables. So we are going to migrate this database completely to cloud. So as part of this, the first step would be using a tool called Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factory is a ETL tool. I have created a separate playlist for Azure Data Factory where I have covered all the basic concepts, like what is Azure Data Factory in general and what are the different things that we could do with it. So if you really wanted to get an understanding about that, you can check that out. But if you ask me that if it is really mandatory to watch those videos before actually understanding this project, I would say no, because all the concepts will be covered in this video as well. So as I mentioned before, Azure Data Factory is an ETL tool which is mainly used for data ingestion. So what we are going to do is the Azure Data Factory will be used to connect to this on-premise SQL Server database to copy all the tables from the database and move all the tables to the cloud. And now where the tables will be stored in the cloud. So for that we are using Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So Azure Data Lake Gen 2 is the storage solution in Azure, and the data which is stored in Azure Data Lake is pretty cheap. So we'll be using Azure Data Factory to connect to the on-premise SQL database and put all the data into the Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So once the data has been added into the Azure Data Lake, we'll be using a tool called Azure Databricks to transform all the raw data into the most curated data. Azure Databricks is a big data analytics tool which is mainly used for high-end data analytics workloads. So in simpler words, we can say that using Azure Databricks, we can actually write the code, either it is SQL or PySpark or Python. All the actual development work will be done inside the Azure Databricks. So which is mainly used for actually transforming the data. And the next thing is, one of the most important topics that I have covered in this project is using Azure Databricks and Azure Data Lake. There is a concept called Lake House architecture. So what is meant by Lake House architecture is, say for example, Azure Data Lake will be divided into multiple layers. So what I mean by layers is, we have different layers such as bronze layer, silver layer, and gold layer. What are the difference between these layers is, for example, let me start with the bronze layer. So as discussed before, Azure Data Factory connects to the on-premise server database, copies the data, and put the data into the Azure Data Lake. So inside Azure Data Lake, the Azure Data Factory puts the data first into the bronze layer, which means that the bronze layer has an exact copy of what the data looks like in this data source. In this project, we are not going to touch any data inside the bronze layer, and we are not going to change the format or anything inside the bronze layer. So this is going to be the source of truth. One of the main advantages of this is, for example, in the subsequent data transformations that we are going to do, If something goes wrong, you can come back to this bronze layer and get all the data retrieved, which is going to be the same as the data source. So once the data has been copied to this bronze layer by Azure Data Factory, we then use Azure Databricks to connect to this bronze layer, do some data transformation, and load the transformed data into this silver layer. So these silver layer and gold layer is kind of different levels of transformation. For example, the first level of transformation is silver layer, and the next layer of transformation is the gold layer. So in bronze to silver layer, the transformation might be kind of simple, like changing the column names or changing the data types, because a lot of times the on-premise kind of data types and the cloud data types is not really compatible. So we may need to change few things based on how it is going to support it into the cloud. So those kind of minimal transformation can be done in this silver layer. And once the data has been transformed using Azure Databricks and the final data has been loaded into the silver layer, we then do another set of transformation using same Azure Databricks, and this data is going to be loaded finally to this gold layer. So this gold layer is the final cleanest form of data. So we all need to have a clean data, right? So one of the main tasks of data engineers is to clean the raw data into the most curated data, which means that all this data transformation is done by the data engineers using Azure Databricks in different zones. So that's called lakehouse architecture. So once the data has been loaded to the gold layer, now we are using another tool called Azure Synapse Analytics. So you can think like Azure Synapse Analytics is kind of similar to what is on-premise SQL Server database. So we can also create the same kind of database similar to how we can create using the on-premise SQL database. We can also create all these database and tables using Azure Synapse Analytics. And once these database and tables have been set up in Azure Synapse Analytics, all the data that is present in the gold layer will be loaded to all the tables that we have created in Azure Synapse Analytics. So now at the end of this step, the Azure Synapse Analytics will have a kind of a similar data warehousing model of how it looks like in on-premise SQL database. So you can consider now the data has been completely migrated. So we are not going to stop here. So we are going to do further analysis on the data that has been stored inside the Azure Synapse Analytics using a tool called Power BI. So this Power BI will get all the data that has been loaded into the Azure Synapse Analytics, and we could create a different kind of reports like the charts, bar charts, or whatever the reports that we want in Power BI. So basically, data analyst is the one who will be creating reports in Power BI, and most of the companies where the data engineers will also do it. So it's better to understand the full end-to-end flow of a data engineering project. That's the reason I have covered Power BI as part of this data engineering project. So apart from this, we are also using the security and governance tools, and some of the tools like we are using Azure Active Directory, which is an identity access management tool. So all the security related things and the further things like creating the service principal and all other steps can be done in the Azure Active Directory, and all the other details will be covered in the subsequent sections. And we'll be also using the Azure Key Vault to store all the secrets. For example, the username and password can be stored in Azure Key Vault, and it can be used to safely retrieve this information, which is kind of the safest way how the data engineers do in real-time project. So I also wanted to include this so it will give you a complete understanding of the overall data engineering project. Cool. So now I think you have an understanding about the use case that we are going to do in this data engineering project. So this complete end-to-end data engineering project will start with data ingestion. And once the data has been ingested and stored into the Azure Data Lake, then we'll be using Azure Databricks to transform all the data to the most cleanest form. And once the data has been transformed and loaded into the gold layer in Azure Data Lake, we then use the Azure Synapse Analytics to create the database and tables and load the final gold layer data into these tables. And once the data has been loaded into the Azure Synapse Analytics, we'll be then using Power BI to create reports. And one of the main tasks of data engineers is to automate all the end-to-end data platform solution, which is pretty much done via pipelines. So what I mean by this is, for example, once we have configured this end-to-end data engineering solution, and say, for example, if a new row has been added to any of the tables in the on-premise SQL database, and once we have run this pipeline should get this latest row from the on-premise SQL database, do all the data transformation, and load that data into the database. And finally, this Power BI should reflect the new row that has been added into the source. Cool. I think you have pretty much understood the use case of this project. and it will be really helpful for you guys to understand how all these data sources work together, how these data sources can be brought together to build this data engineering project. Since there are a lot of different things to be covered in this video, I have splitted this video into multiple sections. So the agenda for this project would be, I'll be starting with the part 1, which is the environment setup. And once that has been done, we'll be moving to the part 2, which is the data ingestion that we have discussed now. And the part 3 would be data transformation using Databricks. And part 4 will be data loading. And part 5 will be data reporting using Power BI. And once that has been done, the final part 6 will be the end-to-end pipeline testing. Cool, this is the agenda for this project, and we'll be starting with the part 1, which is environment setup for now. And for part 1 environment setup, let's go to the Azure portal and see what are the different resources that we need to create and what are the other environment setup that we have to do. Let's check it out.